Look
Ooh
at
la
Lake
la.
Norman. Ew.
Ew is right.
It's all gray.
Water is calm,
Blah.
Every boat is
but
right
it is
there.
blah.
Every boat. No one's left the
We
dock.
haven't, yeah, no kidding. We
Yep.
haven't seen a picture like that in a while. This is summer, y'all. What's
There's a
going
reason
on?
why I didn't show the boating forecast, because it's Ogtober, as I'm calling it.
Because you shouldn't be out there.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
be on the boat.
October. So yeah, August 5th is the date. But legitimately, the temperatures barely making it to 70 are actually more close to what we have around Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah. So I have a high of 71 today. Do I believe it? No. The way things are going, like seriously, if we don't clear out the rain, and it looks like I think we will mid to late afternoon, but the max I have for a high today is 71. So, but there's a good chance that we're 69. 71 is the average high for October 21st. Once you get to, I think the 29th, 30th is where you average 69, and then the average high for Halloween is 68 degrees.
Boo.
So, yeah, or boo, more like it. Yeah, and it's really interesting too, this pattern, the amount of rain that continues to push through. But here, I can bring up one graphic that's ready. It's just about me getting my access. So we're actually approaching the record for the day today, and most of the rain that we see has already fallen. So I don't think that we're going to double this by any stretch of the imagination, but we will have a chance for another inch. So if we get over 3.01, that's going to take the record for August 5th that was officially set back in 1880. So it's been a while since Charlotte has anything gotten close to that. And actually the second wettest August 5th on record was only about like 2.4 inches of rain. But all in all, it's just going to be on and off rain through a good portion of this morning heading into the afternoon. It's really not going to be about till the mid to late afternoon that we're even going to get this rain out of here. But yeah, it's just a dreadful, awful day. My wife even just said, and I was like, well, this is not a motivational day whatsoever.
Nope.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. If you have nothing to do, this is great, because honestly,
That's what I said. I was like, it'd be great to just nap, watch the rain fall,
Sit at home.
catch up on
man.
your binge
Yeah.
watching. And did you say chips?
Oh, and sit at home and eat chips.
Oh,
It's
chips
like one of my
and
favorite
dips.
things to do in the world.
Ooh.
Sit at home and eat chips.
I am weak for chips, which is why I don't have them at home.
if I could have a nice Velveeta cheese dip and some chips,
All of it. I'll take it all.
and a binge watch or some good movies.
Good
that
movies.
sounds excellent.
Yeah.
Moving on to our other map to show
Okay.
some rain totals. We have close to 2 inches of rain, so identical totals here in Rock Hill and Gastonia, 1.96 inches of rain. But the crazy thing is, ignore Salisbury and Concord for whatever reason. Their sites are not reporting anything. Rockingham is, but it shows a 0. So most of the rain has really been just falling in that one swath. That's why you're seeing such big differences from Shelby to Lincolnton to Statesville compared to Gastonia, Charlotte, and Rock Hill. And now we're seeing over 2 inches of rain now in Monroe. That is one that has really shot up from the most recent rains. Rainfall per hour, the peak rain has really come down a little bit for the Charlotte area. That's actually more transitioned a little bit further off towards the east. But the reason why we had such a big uptick in rain totals in Monroe is because of this. This heavier rain, where you're seeing some of the oranges, kind of sat over Monroe a lot more, so that's why it was much heavier rain rates. Those are the ones that are almost a little bit closer to thunderstorm criteria. So wherever you look, you're looking at just absolutely torrential downpours. So right near McConnell's, that's coming down at a rain rate about a half inch to 0.65 of an inch per hour. But the good news is, behind this, we're starting to see a better situation where it's more of a light to moderate rain, and then even nothing at all. So this in general is going to continue to swing its way further off towards the east. We have multiple flash flood warnings down to the southwest, but none a little bit closer to home. So the heaviest rain is starting to come to an end, and we can also see some drier air that's now starting to take place as well. So there's the master system in general. Still a lot more rain further off towards the west that could start to roll back in. Just a wet morning. Here's a better look at our Futurecast. You're starting to see that little tail that is formed, pushed through by about 2. Charlotte at that point has seen more of a lighter rain. So I think by about noon to 1, the heaviest rain is done in Charlotte, but we're still going to see some passing showers. By mid to late afternoon is where we're starting to wind things down across the area. Still a chance for a spotty shower and then redevelopment of some showers and storms through the overnight. That'll push through tomorrow. So let's slow that down for you. See this little tail, kind of what it's doing right now. We'll have another batch of heavy rain that could be around either side of your morning commute, and then heading in the afternoon, a spotty shower. And I think we might even see some sunshine tomorrow, which is going to be a nice change. As far as how much rain we're going to see, in the near term up to 10 p.m., I think we could still add another inch to inch and a half of rain, some even up to 2, and that's really through the next few hours. So this is substantial. This is, I think, it is to be as close as you can really get to a widespread rain event that doesn't lead to a flash flood warning, just because it's just long enough over a longer period of time. But if you had pretty much cut the amount of rain that we're seeing here in half as far as the duration goes, this would be a much bigger deal than it is. Now, it's not great. You're still seeing significant ponding. As we mentioned, there's wet shoes across the Charlotte area. There are people watching right now that could have a wet sock right now.
Wet socks, the
Yeah.
worst.
And do you know what? We go out to you. Our hearts are with you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
guys.
That's how you spend the rest of your day. But it's joking matter aside, this is still on the cusp of a big time rain as far as flooding can go. But it's just long enough that it's helping us out. I think you could get to around 70 degrees by 5 p.m. But as I mentioned, pretty much 69 to 71 is our range here in Charlotte. Overnight tonight, lows drop down to the mid 60s. On and off rain will be a possibility. And sunrise at 6:36. Rain will be in the area. Tomorrow, I think most of the rain's going to fall really before 1 p.m. before we start to get a lot of those showers to push out of here, and then we have the lower 70s to end the afternoon, and our rainfall chances come down significantly after Thursday. You just have a general chance for an isolated storm, but really we're watching this. You have that one wave that's further down towards the east. I think that's really going to be more of a day 7 to 10 that we see the effects, mainly a fish storm overall. But hey, so I've seen those paths continue to move northwest, so we're not going to completely discount it, but likely it should trickle back out to sea. But this one is now a 40% chance it could turn into a tropical storm. I think this one would likely be a dame storm before the other one would. So that means over the next 2 to 4 days, we could be calling this either Tropical Depression number 5 or Tropical Storm Erin would be the next name. But regardless of that, it's still going to be a low pressure system that could bring some rain to the shoreline. So our 7-day forecast, it's taken a while. We've been stuck under this cold air damming. It's not going anywhere. We're back to around 80 degrees on Friday heading into Saturday. That's a little bit more typical of a September-like pattern. And then eventually we're back to about your August-like pattern by the middle of next week. So yeah, it's been a wacky couple of months. July, the second hottest, and then all of a sudden we skip over August for what seems to be the first half of the month before it gets its August act together.
Yeah, settle in. Mid-80s. I can take that all day.
I'm not mad about it.
Right? This is Little Sugar Creek in Mecklenburg County. This is just behind Park Road Shopping Center at
Shout out to
Rocky
James. He's out
and
there.
Westfield. Oh, shout out
Ew.
James.
And see, this is what you expect when you have these type of rains. That's why, like, if you don't know the area, you're like, oh man, this is really bad. But we've seen this several, if not a dozen times a summertime, that those rains will really overwhelm the banks. But yeah, no, this is also a big point I want to make, that yes, we are seeing rain that is bringing us up to this nuisance flooding and some minor flooding across the area. If we got another one of these, and there is a chance tomorrow that we see some excessive rainfall, you do this for day 2, that's a bad situation. So I do want to let people know is that if we had already been seeing a lot more rain recently, which we really haven't in the long term or the widespread variety, this could be a big time flooding event. If these are thunderstorms, we would be talking about considerable flash flood warnings, but we're just on the cusp. But this is not a good day. There's going to be a lot of low-lying roads, as we're seeing here, a lot of greenways that are near streams and creeks. They're swollen because 2 inches of rain is 2 inches of rain. It doesn't matter how long of a period of a day it takes to get there. And we're actively seeing moderate to heavy rain across the area. So yeah,
Look at
great.
this, y'all. Hold on.
Oh, give 'em
this
more.
is live. Mason actually just put his camera up. This is at Ashby and North Tryon.
Yep, I know this.
Okay.
I know this area
This
too.
close
I know where
to
this is too.
It's under an overpass.
yeah,
This is
I had to pass this every day on the way home to Noda.
one of those famous areas.
yeah, this is another one of those big time flooding areas. But this also we can actually see the testament here. For one, you can tell it's low lying, so it's flowing downhill,
Yep.
and you can see where the water's flowing from. So these type of areas in Charlotte, and Charlotte's growing, and that's fantastic. But the problem is with all this concrete and infrastructure allows for a lot of runoff. So that's why certain areas that are low lying are going to be underwater. So this is not the only place like this. There are going to be a couple dozen places most likely like this. So it might seem like I'm downplaying it. I'm just saying that it could be a whole lot worse. This still isn't great. We really call this and classify this one as minor flooding or nuisance flooding. Like, that's a nuisance. That's not great at all, because
No.
that right there, if you drive through the water,
My car ain't making it.
Well, I mean, that
My bug
car
ain't
has
making
its
it.
hazards on,
So-
so obviously,
I
Good.
mean, I feel like
Stuck?
the last time it was a big, I want to say it was a couple months ago, we had a big weather, just a lot of rain, kind of like this. Same area. Someone got stuck.
yeah.
could have been an accident
So-
here too.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Because
we're
I
look-
see it looks like a bumper on the side, or that could have been already there.
Yeah, some debris. So this
So-
is, again, Ashby Street in North Tryon. And the live picture from our Mason Foster, photojournalist there, who says that the flooding actually looks way worse here than at Wilkinson.
Well, and actually, because at this point, Mecklenburg County was just put under a flash flood warning.
Yes.
So this is a base flash flood warning that we do have just because of the rain rates, and truly, luckily, we're going to see the back end. But yeah, no, you're now into the base zone here, because we're seeing roads underwater. You're seeing the creeks that are really swollen up here, and there's still rain rates about 1/4 to 1/2 inch per hour that we're seeing here. So the newest update right here, that flash flood warning goes all the way until 4:15 in the afternoon. So that is significant, and it's just for Mecklenburg County specifically. And notice how it says radar and gauge indicated. That's picking up on those gauges around the streams and creeks. So that's why it's specifically, even though we've actually seen more rain in surrounding areas, because I think Charlotte specifically, because of its infrastructure and low-lying areas and the creeks and the streams, and we know how many of those are around the area, they're under a flash flood warning before the rest, just because of their better chance for a general flash flooding across the afternoon. So I think things are going to get a little bit better a couple hours from now, but right now we're in the thick of it. So yeah, if you don't have to travel, I wouldn't, with especially the way that the water is actively rising. Avoid those low-lying roads, and I wouldn't be surprised if you are going to see some of these sectors that are certain destinations underwater. So what I would really do is, even if you know where you're going, you know the area, put in your GPS, because oftentimes, especially Google Maps will do a good job of picking up on what roads are closed and which ones aren't. So that would be my best recommendation for the near term.
Chris,
All right.
we have a special guest.
We're going
Okay.
to bring in James Brierton right now.
My
He is
man, all
figuring
right.
out, hey, James, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you. And I was just listening to Chris talking about the rising waters, and here they are. This is the Little Sugar Creek, guys, just behind Park Road Shopping Center. You know where Amelie's is? We're along Brandywine. And I don't know if you can make this out, but that's the railing that you would normally walk alongside if you were on the greenway here. So when Chris says the waters are rising quickly, this is exactly what he's referring to.
Yeah, so and that's the definition of a flash flood warning. If you had rain just over, and James, I think it's really the rain rates that we've had recently. Like, this is kind of the heaviest that we've seen here. This can happen with just a general quick thunderstorm, but now it's really been compounding. So it's the rain right now that I think it's really going to make the next couple hours worse. But yeah, they're warning us just because of exactly where you're at, man. What's the parking lot look like?
Well, Chris, I'm so glad you brought that up. When you asked me about the parking lot, I think it helps kind of convey what the real life impacts are, because we've talked about from time to time how the Little Sugar Creek and the Greenway are designed to flood. So some of this is expected to be normal. If I may, I'm actually going to walk away from the parking lot. I'm walking away from Park Road Shopping Center because I want to take you over here to Westfield Drive. It's another area we've talked about before, because this is actually an area where the government has reclaimed property because it often floods. And it's doing that right now. So Westfield Road I'm going to take a quick little walk here. You guys will be down here in about 15 seconds. The roadway is becoming covered in water. So when we start talking about like real world impacts, this is a road that is still currently open. There's no barricades or anything. So someone could drive down into this. And although these lots over here have all been reclaimed because of previous flooding, homes and things are not that far away. So Chris, when you talk about why the National Weather Service has issued the flash flood warning, I think it's exactly for situations like this, where we're not too far away from that home right over there.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was only like a 20-second walk, if that. And are your feet, you seem to be finding one of those, relatively drier patches, James, walking around.
My feet are soaking wet, Jan. So when I get to the studio, hopefully somebody has another pair of shoes for me.
Yeah, the wet socks we were talking about.
The wet socks. I drove down this road maybe 5 minutes ago, and it was still somewhat passable. But I would say give it another 5 or 10 minutes. If the rain continues at this rate, I would not advise driving down this road because, matter of fact, there's actually a car right now backing up. I just watched this vehicle turn from a side street and try to go down this road. It's reversing and now bailing out onto a side street.
Yeah, and so now we literally had it goes ponding, significant ponding, nuisance flooding to minor flooding, and we're definitely seeing that, James. Like we've seen a lot of situations like this before, but are you familiar specifically with this? Because I know they reclaimed a lot of lands. How often have you kind of seen it like this in this area?
I think it's one of the areas, Chris, that as a weather team, we know that if something's going to flood, this is an area that is likely to flood. It's a flood-prone area. But what I would say, and I don't know how often I've stood in this exact spot, but when I'm starting to watch, okay, this first lot that's been reclaimed, it's flooding, but it's not that far away from the next home. If I owned that home, I would be concerned.
Yeah, and again, specifically, that's why I think that the National Weather Service pinged all of Mecklenburg County being the most densely populated area, because right around where James is currently sitting, I'm seeing rain rates of about a quarter to a half inch per hour, my man. Is the rain gotten a little bit lighter compared to, say, it was about 30 minutes ago?
In the 15 or 20 minutes since I've been here, Chris, the rain has been pretty steady at the same moderate to heavy rate. I will also add, it's a two-way communication we have with the National Weather Service. They issue warnings, we relay them out to the public. While I've been standing here, I've been sending them photos and videos too to help them make their weather decision as they were getting ready to issue that flash flood warning.
Yeah, and see, honestly, you literally might have been the water that pushed it over the levee, because we were right there. We were seeing a lot of different events. But one thing that's really been happening here is the rain, James, was trending a little bit further east, but then it's just been sticking in one spot. So this is the classic definition of flash flooding. But James, we were talking about this. So you, of course, have your Carolina Weather Group. We can thank our lucky stars that this isn't a chain of thunderstorms, because we were talking about thunderstorms, rain, with this has been really just steady. No thunder and lightning, no 2+ inch rates that have been here. This could be historic flooding. This could be like more than base, more considerable flash flooding if we could get some heavier rates. But honestly, right on the cusp, just kind of seeing the impacts right there just shows what can happen with 2 inches of rain across a morning.
Yeah, I'm watching a storm drain here, Chris, and I apologize because I'm only on Zoom, so I don't think I have much ability to zoom in. But if you guys can make it out, there's a storm drain there working very hard to keep up with the rain rates, but I can already see like a stick and thing sticking out of it. So if enough debris were to get caught in that, it would probably hamper. And way down the street here, I am seeing more headlights. I'm watching. Oh, they also just bailed onto a side street. So far, drivers seem to be making a pretty good decision to stay off this street, but it's still open to the public. So turn around, don't drown. If you come across a flooded roadway here or anyplace else, you don't know how deep that water is, and we don't know if the pavement is still there. In this case, I believe it is, but that is our general advice anytime you encounter a flooded roadway.
We were watching the one car make that left turn
Yeah,
in your picture, James. He made it real slow. Looked like they were able to at least find a passable stretch of that road.
Well, James, we appreciate everything that you do, man. And sorry you're getting so wet for us, and sorry for the wet shoes, but you're doing great work, my friend.
I clearly need to keep an umbrella in the car.
Really, he is boots on the ground, wet socks
Boots
on the ground for us.
Boots on the ground, water on his head.
I'm going to go walk back to my car because I left it in that parking lot that Chris asked me about. And ever since he asked me about how the parking lot's doing, I've been worried about my car.
Okay,
Oh, boy.
well, why don't we just walk back with you?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
we
Sure,
enjoyed
I'll be
this
here.
time as well. Plus, you can also see, like, look at James's jacket or shirt.
So
Yeah, I thought it was actually is that a
I thought it was
jacket or is that a shirt? Yeah, it was a jacket. Yeah,
It's
no.
a jacket.
It's not
At this point, it's a
waterproof.
sponge.
It's a sponge. I was gonna say his undershirt is wet. Yeah, this is the type of rain that just saturates you.
This
and,
is the real life.
Oh yeah, let me see. And see that
I'm
this
walking
is
down the Greenway.
Oh boy.
see, and this is the deal. Notice the downhill. It's these low-lying areas that all of that runoff, and we talk about runoff when you have saturated soils or sometimes really dry ground in certain cases or after a wildfire. Concrete is the most runoff, so that's why you're seeing things like this. Yeah, and that's happening fast. James, it's been a while since we've had really a solid Sugar Creek flooding around here in Park Road.
Yeah, it's a thing that has happened before because, they design these areas so that they swell and they flood versus other areas. It's a technology or technique they use to kind of combat urban flooding. But, we want to make sure it stays confined to the channel. I just watched a vehicle drive down Westfield, and I'm still trying to decide whether or not he's going to make it all the way down. It looked like one of those construction vehicles. Yeah, he's going for it. He's probably too far away for you guys to see.
Let's watch. Yeah, I don't see anything.
But he's kicking up a lot of water.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of water. And he is bailing onto a side street. So I think he regretted his decision.
Oh no. Now, you came up that way on the Greenway to your car from your car, right?
If I walk back across the bridge, my car is on the Park Road Shopping Center side. So that's where I'm going to go up and over the bridge because I think it would make more sense for me to be on the side with my car.
Yeah, and James, I was just looking at the gauge heights for this location. So right now it looks like it's up to about 10 feet. Believe it or not, once you really get into the minor flooding that they start doing in the jurisdictions, it's about 15 feet. But actually the last time that we had heights that you're at right now was June 12th of 2025. And before that, the last time that I actually got this high was September 28th, 2024.
So, Chris, you're talking about the gauge heights. This is the gauge camera. So when
Oh,
we
there it
look
is.
the
Oh, look at
Mecklenburg
that.
System, this is the camera that Chris sometimes will show you a still picture of from the Weather Center. And as Chris is looking at the gauge heights, I think the gauge is right down here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to see if I can find it.
Yeah, because looking at these times, yeah, it shot up. Trust me, it's over 10 feet, and we still have some active rain that it's still going to filter back in here. So again, if you're just joining us, flash flood warning for Mecklenburg County. Our own James Brierton has been showing you examples like Sugar Creek Road and also some low-lying areas. There was another one in Noda that we're seeing a lot of those low-lying locations that are underwater, and as all the runoff is coming there, where we've seen up and over 2 inches of rain across the area. Most recently, the height of about 10.5 feet at the Little Sugar Creek Greenway. So here's what James is showing us.
There's a live picture from James's
yeah,
phone
up
right
over the
now.
fence.
Up
Yeah.
over the
James
fence,
is
right
very
behind
wet phone.
Amelie's.
Can you see how fast this is flowing?
Very
If
fast.
for some reason you were to get swept into that, you would likely struggle to keep, that's flowing fast, is my point.
Well, and also so 11 feet. You're saying, oh, we did it in June, but realistically, the heights that you're looking at right now, looking over the last year, has only happened 1, 2, 3, 4. This is only the 5th time that we've been at this level and this height over the last year. So yes, as we mentioned, James, this does happen, but it's still more of a rarity that we get up to this point. And then the worst part is I'm actively watching the radar right now and heading right towards you. You kind of have that yellow transition back over to the orange. And that means that where you're standing, the rain's actually going to pick up a little bit more before it's starting to lighten up. So yeah, we're not at its best. So yeah, I'm talking about 10 feet. It could get a little bit higher. It's not even at action stage technically quite just yet, but honestly, we're getting a little bit close enough. So try to avoid those areas if you can. And unless you're going to try to get us some video safely, as you're trying to do with James. But James knows what he's doing. He's one of the best in the biz.
Absolutely. James, how does that?
The water is definitely rising.
How does the camera? Can you walk us through what those gauges do? The camera, the purpose of that you just showed us.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe Chris can bring up, or Carlene there can bring up Mecklenburg FINS, FINS. So it's a real-time collaboration between the county and USGS, I believe. And so they have gauges along the creek, so we can track their rise. It helps the National Weather Service know when to issue warnings because they're monitoring from Greenville-Spartanburg. It helps us in the Weather Center know what is actually happening if one of us is not standing out here. Then in search locations, they're combined with webcams that take pictures every 5 or 10 minutes or so because seeing is believing. And I believe the third part of that system actually has rain buckets, rain gauges. So they're actually measuring in certain locations how much rain has fallen, because once that rain falls, Jane, it has to flow down into the creek. So it rolls down the streets, it rolls down through the sewage drains into the creeks, because the creeks will then take it onto the rivers and out of Mecklenburg County. But as you can see, if you think of this as like I-85 at rush hour, this is rush hour right now for all of this water that is trying to flow off of all of our urban settings down and out of the area.
Yeah, and I'm on the fins right now. It's struggling after trying to load, so sometimes the rain can affect things like this. But I'm checking some other areas around you, sir, such as the Steel Creek at Carowinds Boulevard. That's up to action stage. We actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different locations that are at least action stage as far as flooding goes. There's actually one off of Little Sugar Creek below 36th Street is at 9.37 feet, so that's action stage, almost to minor flooding. We also have the record is 12.9 at Briar Creek and Independence Boulevard. That's up to 8.56, so nothing too historic there. But the Little Sugar Creek at Medical Center Drive, the most recent update, actually got up to, let's see, up to 12.34, James. So before we were talking about 10, so flood stage officially is 13.5. So we're about a foot away from the official flood stage at that site. So that's definitely where we're seeing some of the worst rise in water for the time being.
I've gone whitewater rafting a few times before, Chris, in my life, and it tends to look like that.
Oh, boy.
That is the Little Sugar Creek. If you've ever walked the new greenway that opened in the last year or two behind Park Road Shopping Center here, you know the creek is generally just miles, maybe like a low, couple feet. That looks like whitewater rafting that I've done.
Yeah, and I personally, this fast only happens at most like once or twice a year. Like that's a big time flow.
Here comes the fire department vehicle. Let's see if A, they chase me out, or B, if they stop here and take a look. They do certainly have lights on. So.
Well, and it's at this point, not just because of the National Weather Service.
With WCNC?
Oh, there we go.
So I think they're doing exactly what we're doing, Chris. I think they're checking out the water levels here.
Okay.
So we'll watch for a moment. So this is a Charlotte Fire Department vehicle. It also says Mecklenburg County Emergency Management on it, because they're also going to relay information back to the emergency management and onto the National Weather Service. I talked before about how when we were out here, we were sending information back to the National Weather Service. Charlotte Mecklenburg Emergency Management is also in that same chat room.
Yeah, and I was looking here at fins too. What's actually interesting is because we focus on the airport where we've been showing that 1.96, but some of the fins data showing Freedom Park accumulation of 4 inches of rain, Collinswood Elementary 4.7 inches of rain, and yeah, so right around there, that's kind of a cluster. We also have 3.8 at the USGS
How are we
office.
looking, sir? Good. I'm James with WCNC. We're streaming right now. Yeah, I'm Tony Bateman with Emergency Management. So we've got high water all across the county. Several vehicles flooded. Wow. Okay. But we're able to manage to rescue all of the occupants. So that's good news. So we don't have any of that issue going on. Do you know how many water rescues or water-related calls you've had so far? They're starting to mount, probably 10. Okay. I'm going up here to Mockingbird now. Check Mockingbird. Okay. Mockingbird got an issue.
This is an area that flooded about 20 years ago because
Yeah.
I worked on this particular project, and we mitigated a lot of it. So
Sure.
That's why we don't have houses here,
Hmm.
but we obviously still have problems. Okay?
Yeah, we were speculating that, although this floods from time to time, this seems like one of the higher ones we've seen in recent memory.
Yeah, it's a lot of water.
Anything you want our viewers to know in terms of action?
Turn around, don't drown.
Turn around, don't drown.
That's the message.
Tony, was it?
Tony.
What?
Tony Bateman with
Bateman.
Charlotte Mecklenburg Emergency Management.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You be safe out here.
I will.
Because water doesn't, no second chances with water.
Absolutely. I've told them a couple times that I'll probably be moving off the bridge pretty soon.
That's another thing for the viewers to remember. Water's very dangerous. There's no second chances.
That's a great advice. Yeah, the water.
Stay away from it, even though it's kind of magical. We got to stay away from
It's a very fast flow we have today.
Yep. FEMA still says that our number one threat is urban flooding. Urban flooding. And you're seeing a great example of urban flooding, right? A lot of impervious surfaces that the water runs off into the natural creek beds, and all of a sudden we have water.
Yeah, our meteorologist was saying there's more rain still to come. So it seems like we might be in this for a minute.
Think all day.
All day, yeah.
It's Brad, right?
Yep, Brad, and then Chris Mulcahy's in my ear right now.
Okay.
Yep.
So tell Brad and Chris, Tony said hey.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Tony.
Hello.
Hey, Tony. What did he say?
I know my number, so you're free to call me anytime.
All right, we will do that, sir. You stay safe as well. Thank you. So you guys heard that update there.
He was great.
They're thinking the same thing we're thinking. This is a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, and I think, James, if you could just turn around and just show the fast flow of the water, I want to put it in this perspective, because this happens all the time. We just think about it as like, well, this is just Little Sugar Creek. That's no big deal. How many times have you seen video of fast-moving waters that is a stream or a river? Just because this is technically just a creek, it is moving so fast that if you slip and end up being too close to these greenways and caught in that, as you said, one of the biggest threats is urban flooding. So just don't underestimate these type of things. And then people say, it's like, oh, I'm just driving around through the puddles. No, we've already seen a bunch of hazards flashing from people that have been trying to go through the flooded waters. There's likely going to be a lot of road closure with this until everything starts to retreat itself, because the drains are overwhelmed. All you need is about a quarter to a half inch of rain when it's this saturated and this flooded to keep things going. And we're at least going to have that at least over the next 30 minutes or so, because even behind that, you still have some heavier rain as well. So yeah, no, it's flowing, my friend.
Westfield Road is completely covered. So when we started our conversation about half an hour ago, people were still kind of attempting to make it down the middle. I can barely see any of the pavement on Westfield.
Hey.
And this is what Tony was just talking. Oh, go ahead, Jan.
Yeah, James. I don't know if your phone got waterlogged a little bit, but you're coming in a little muffled. Just wanted to let you know in case you're able to clear that. But it says you said that it's beginning to recede just a touch.
No, it's absolutely
There
still
we go,
going
it's
up,
better.
Jane. The road is more covered now than it was
Oh.
before.
Oh no.
Is that audio any better?
That's perfect.
much better.
Much better.
Yeah,
Except for
because
the water that just hit the lens.
Whether we either
Besides
get audio
that.
or video.
Can't have both.
We can't have both.
This is the road.
Okay. Oh no.
wow, yeah.
Do you have galoshes on? Do you have like?
No, I guarantee he just has his James sneaks.
Oh, James, do you have Oh, those
Yeah.
are sneakers.
Yeah, I know. I
And
knew.
jeans.
And he's wearing jeans.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what this driver is going to do. I'm assuming they're going to turn around.
Yeah, I always like to see. Oh, yep. You called that.
See, and that was a smart way. So lead by example here. Let me see.
And James, you said Tony. You asked him how many rescues they conducted already. He said about 7 or 10.
I think he said about 10, and he said that number is going up. He did mention that all of them have been successful so far. Biggest advice is turn around, don't drown. Jane, to give us a little before and after, in the half an hour we were talking, when I first was showing you guys Westfield Drive, I was standing on the other side of that tree. It is now under water by probably about an inch.
Yep.
All
It
right.
is fast moving.
Yeah, and I can say that it's only wavered a little bit. Looking at the highest creek where James is, it hit its peak at 12.34 feet. That was 15 minutes ago. It's come down a couple of inches, but not too much. All you need is another quick burst of rain to bring that up. So yeah, no, actively as far as flooding goes, looking at the radar, the way things are going to be, I think we're right around the peak as far as the worst conditions. But as we know, water will flow downstream, so it could lead to further issues, more roads underwater. So I'm going to say, if you're watching WCNC Plus right now, most likely you're at home from your TV set. I would try to avoid travel, because this afternoon we are going to see a break in the rain, but still some very heavy rain now, and we still have that active flash flood warning until 4:15. That usually will always go even outside the time that it is actively raining, because you're going to have the chance for the streams to still swell as everything's starting to collide into one area. But yeah, no, it's shows the classic event when you have all this rain, and especially in certain locations. Even though we base a lot of our rain totals at the airport, we are seeing rain totals for this morning alone up to 4 inches of rain. That's enough to do just this.